You know, with the release of all the new printers from Bambu, my P1P is starting to look a little old. So I had to decide, do I want to sell the P1P or should I just throw some upgrades at it? If you watch my channel on a regular basis, you know that I purchased my P1P from Facebook Marketplace for 200 bucks. I got it pretty cheap. So I feel like I've got a little headroom to throw some parts at it. Now, not too long ago, Big Tree Tech sent me the Panda Status to put on the X1C for a video. I was so impressed with it. I knew that when it came time to upgrade the P1P, it was getting a Panda Status for sure. And I purchased one of those right on their website. Also purchased a Panda branch. That way we could install it just like we did the X1C. Now, Big Tree Tech was nice enough to send along some additional items, and those items were sent for the purpose of this particular build. So let's jump down on the table. I'll show you what I purchased for myself and what Big Tree Tech sent along, and then we'll get those put on the machine. Now, I did get a little bit of ahead of myself, and I apologize. I did stick the Panda Status on the P1P already, but I'll show you what that looks like. Now, if you haven't seen the installation video I did of the Panda Status, which I won't be doing in this video, but I'll link you down below to my previous install so you can see a very clean and factory looking way to install it. So what else did I get for the P1P? Well, I also got the Panda branch, and this is a nice piece. You take the output for your AMS, plug into this, and then it gives you several USB ports that you can plug devices in, mainly the Panda Status, and then back out to your AMS. Now, this body that I printed here, or the case for it, was actually printed on my Haygear's Reflex RS Turbo. This is a resin print, and it turned out pretty amazing. So we'll be mounting that to the back of the machine. Now, I don't do it how Panda actually recommends. They have a bracket that you mount on the side of your machine. I just apply double-sided adhesive tape and mount it on the back of the machine where it's out of sight. And I'll show you how I do that. So what did Big Tree Tech, or BIQU, I guess they're one company now. I get confused sometimes. What else did they send along? Well, we've got the Panda Jetpack V2. They didn't have the back piece in stock, so I only got the front piece. But this is a nice skeletonized cover for the front, and we'll give it a nice look. They also sent along the Panda diaper. This is a pretty interesting piece. So this is a flexible like silicone or rubber piece that goes in the bottom, and then as all your pieces of 3D printing filament fall into the bottom, and instead of trying to sweep them all up, you can just pick this up out of there and go dump it in the trash and then put this back in. That's a pretty neat idea. And then of course they sent along one of their plates. Now this one is the glacier plate, if I'm getting that right. Yep, glacier plate. Now, interesting about this plate, most of these style of plates only support PETG and PLA. Surprisingly, this one you can also do engineering materials. So you can do stuff like ABS and PA on this plate. They also include some QR tags that you can actually put on the plate. That way your Bambu printer identifies this plate accordingly. Pretty cool. I love when things just work. All right, so let's get these parts on the P1P and let's see what it looks like. Like I mentioned earlier, I already installed the Panda Status on here and it's not quite configured yet, but I'll drop you a link to the previous video where I installed that on my X1C so you can see how I installed it on this machine. But it's a very nice, clean way to install it, and it actually looks kind of factory. So the easy swap is just the plate. This is the old black PEI plate that originally came with the Bambu machines before the gold plate came around. This one actually works pretty good, but as you can see, there's a little bit of glue on here because on occasion it has problems. So easy swap out and upgrade is to remove that old plate, and then we'll just put the glacier plate in its place. There we go. Now, we don't need that QR code on this particular plate for this machine because it doesn't read those anyways. But if I was using it on my X1C, which I might, then having that QR code on there could be handy.
Pressure's building in the nozzle's core. Flow rate steady, but I'm wanting more. Mic run thin, the layers rise, slicing through the limits, precision in my eyes, feeling and feeding the rhythms in sync. G-code whispers what the future will bring. Heat bed humming, adhesions tight. Every pass is perfect, breaking through the night. Sea hops climbing, but the bridge won't fail. Overhangs bending, but I'll blaze the trail. Stringing doubts like filament webs. I dial in the temp and I'm cutting the threads. Layer by layer, I'm building my dream. Fused in position, so it seems.
Now the installation was pretty easy. You're just transferring the fan from your old into the new. So this is the Jetpack V2. So it's part of the Pandaverse. So this is connected to your printer, and I'm assuming will display some statuses much like the Panda status. Before we can get all that configured, I need to get the Panda branch installed on the back of the machine. Now, when you get the branch from Big Tree Tech, they actually give you another bracket to mount it over here on the side. And nothing wrong with that, but that's not how I prefer to do it. On my X1C, I mounted it on the back, something like this, even though there's a back panel on the X1C, so probably a little different location. But I'm thinking somewhere like right there. We just want to make sure that from this port over to here, that cable will reach before we obligate ourselves, I suppose. Big Tree Tech does provide the cable, so let's get that plugged in. And then, yeah, we've got plenty. We can route it over here and plug it in. We want to get it. We'll have to route it in a way where it doesn't get in the way of the poop chute. But I'm thinking something like that, since we have plenty of cable. I like it. I think that's a good spot. We'll definitely get some zip ties to get everything nice and tidy and tucked away, but I like that spot. Now, I'm not going to guarantee this will be straight or level, but that looks pretty good to me. So we'll call that mounted. So in here, this is our in that we'll plug in here. And if we had an AMS, then we would go out of here up to our AMS. Now this is the cable for our Panda status, and I'll just plug it into one of the now 4 available USB ports. Now all I have to do is make this not look like a rat's nest and get everything nice and tucked away and zip tied up, and we'll be good to go. All right, well, we got everything installed, but everything is in its default mode right now. So you can see the Panda status is just moving back and forth with its blue light to let us know that we need to connect to it and configure it. This plate actually ended up matching the rollers that I did on the Infinity Flow S1 pretty well. Not done on purpose by any means. And then the Jetpack V2 is doing the same. So at this point, what we need to do is connect to both of them via their wireless networks that they're transmitting and get them connected to the printer via the code on the printer. Now I won't go through that exact step because that would drag the video out pretty far. I'm pretty sure on the Panda status video that I did on the X1C, I covered that, and I'll drop you a link to that video if you want more detailed look at how to set all that up.
Brim or raft, stability's a must. Warping's a shadow, but I build with trust. Flow ratio tuned, every seam is aligned. Tolerance is perfect in this frame of mind. Retraction pulling keeps the stringing at bay. Every failure's a lesson, there's no other way.
Now everything is all done. Everything's working. I ended up changing the color there on the jetpack to just be that normal blue the whole time. The reason being is when it's printing in H2D mode, where this one just progresses up to complete, that one goes into a full multicolor RGB mode and starts spinning around, and well, that's not for me. So the solid blue is really nice, and I've actually got the intensity or the brightness of it turned down to about 15%. So it lights up nice, but it's not obnoxiously bright. So I really like it. I went ahead and did a recalibration. I don't know if it was necessary, but the jetpack, I believe, is lighter than the factory unit, so it seemed beneficial to go ahead and do a recalibration. Plus, we've added a little bit of weight to the bed, so it's possible that that recalibration could be beneficial. Now, even though the Panda diaper would work in the P1P, I'm not going to lie, the X1C is probably where I'm going to end up putting it. Just because if you own an X1C, you know the pain it is to remove all those little bits. So let's just see how this fits in here. Oh, I gotta tell you, I like it. And now, when it's time to remove all of those little tiny bits that get into the bottom of this machine, it looks like I just pull it up like this. I could probably even fold it over and remove it, dump the stuff, bring it back in, and lay it back out. I like this. I really like that. Man, that is going to make my life so much easier on keeping the bottom of this printer clean. And honestly, it looks pretty good too. Well, there we go. We're all done. Now, to be honest with you, I've been very conservative with the X1C when it comes to upgrades. Didn't add too much flashy stuff. But for some reason with this P1P, I've been going a little hog wild. So I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now. It's got the Panda status. It's got the cryo plate. It's got a jetpack V2. It's looking really, really good. And I think I'm calling it pretty much done. The only thing I might do is wait until the backside of that jetpack V2 gets in stock, and I'll probably grab one of those too, just to complete that. But other than that, I gotta tell you, Big Tree Tech and BIQU are the king of these P-Series accessories. Like, I don't know anybody that makes as many accessories for this machine as that company does. Now, I'll drop you a link to all the parts I installed today so you can check them out. But this isn't only what they have. Believe it or not, they have a whole section they call the Pandaverse. And it is a ridiculous amount of parts for these Bambu machines. It's definitely worth checking out. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. And if you have any questions at all about configuration or setup or how I like anything in particular about what I installed today, just hit me up in the comments. All right, guys. Later.